Hey, I'm Mark. Wait, I did it wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm Evan. I did both parts. And on this episode, we talk about thought leadership, repeating yourself, and gonorrhea.
Hey, Evan.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
I have to say,
Yeah?
I did not prepare mentally for this podcast at all.
Oh, great. What else is new?
No, this is especially because literally we are here at TDS today.
Yeah, we're in the closet.
We're in the closet.
We're
I'm
doing
not
a
even
thought-
sitting fully on this chair.
We're in a Thought Leadership Academy. We've got a 25-minute break for lunch, and so we're gonna squeeze a podcast in as we squeeze into our seats here in the closet.
I have to say, I was thinking about it yesterday as I was, or maybe this morning I was driving in. It was really good to spend the day with you yesterday.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, even when I was walking out, so I'm walking out early because I had to get home and deal with all this stuff, and you like walked me out. I mean, I know you were going to the bathroom, but still, you walked me out, and we kind of talked a little bit, and then I said, "Oh, good night, man." You're like, "Good night," and I was like, "It's nice.
It's like camp.
It's nice to like."
We're at entrepreneur camp. Entrepreneur camp.
Dude, we should do
Thought leadership
entrepreneur camp.
No. I don't care about that stuff. I mean, that's what you're doing with your Tough Mudder. Great, do it. Entrepreneur camp doesn't.
No, not camp like canoeing and stuff with entrepreneurs.
So what is it?
I mean, like boot camp.
Oh, what are we learning at the boot camp? What are we doing?
What are the things that hold entrepreneurs back more than anything else?
My website.
Have you worked on it?
No. That's holding me back. If you want to do a boot camp in Muskoka to work on my website, I'm down. Yes. Filming videos, launch the whole site in one weekend? Yes. Sign me up.
Awesome.
I'm in for that. Otherwise, it really depends on what we're doing.
Anyway, what do you think of this? So every time you do your Thought Leadership Academy, which is a 3-day event here at TDS where people can come, they can spend 3 days with you.
Yeah.
You bring all these people in. You bring helpers in from Europe and from the States and all these people.
Yeah.
You collect great people, but you bring them in.
Yeah.
Every time that you do it, you go, I'm not going to do this again. So you might still be at the point where you're like, I'm not going to do this again. And tomorrow you think you are.
Right.
But how do you feel about this group? This is the fourth time.
Yeah. This fourth group.
Good group. Good group. I mean, they're not going to see this till a few weeks later, so you can be honest.
Oh, I'm always honest. I mean, anybody who's going to come and invest in themselves and wants to be a thought leader and has a mission and a message, like I love working with those people. Some people are way further ahead than others. Some people, like, this is a starting point and they're still trying to figure out what they're doing. That's great. The real test will come from dinner tonight and then tomorrow.
Why dinner tonight?
Because everybody's been through, like, day one is just knowledge transfer.
Yeah.
It's seminar format, and they start doing. We start giving them like.
By the way, people keep coming up and telling me how awesome I was yesterday, even
listen
though
to
you
them.
gave me terrible feedback.
Brutal.
You were like boring.
Yeah. What did Alex say?
Didn't like it. Alex,
Was he honest?
Yeah,
Alex was not honest.
No, he
what
was.
Did he say? What did he
was
say?
honest.
There's no way.
He was honest.
Okay,
he
what
said,
did he say?
He said, you hit your stride once. I looked down. It was 7 minutes in, and you finally started saying something good.
So nice. He's so nice.
And
I said something similar.
But you said that the first 5 minutes was boring, and that.
So he gave you 7.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Alex's feedback.
Okay.
All of Alex's feedback just wanted me to be more Alex.
No, well, that's not necessarily. Well, maybe
You didn't hear his feedback.
Okay.
He literally wanted me to be more Alex by the end, and I was like, interesting. But
Okay. More energy.
anyway,
But I'm glad
people
you
are
didn't
saying nice things, man.
take it. Know that you are awesome. And it sucked.
And it was the worst
Garbage.
thing ever.
Yeah. Garbage.
Hey, you said that I said one thing in this half-an-hour talk I gave that piqued your interest enough to look up from your phone.
Right. Yeah. The story was good. The intro sucked. The story was good. The takeaways needed help. Yeah. Anyway.
This is my friend, everyone. Thank you.
You're welcome. So day one is just is knowledge dump, and they learned a lot, and people loved it, and we had them actually doing exercises, and it's awesome because they say when you give them the theory, they're like, oh yeah, there's a guy in the front row said that's easy. Like, great, it's simple, but it's not easy.
That's what Warren Buffett's quote, right?
Is it? Mm-hmm. Great. So it's simple, but it's not easy. And then we did it as a group together, and everybody's struggling with it. And then we had them do it individually, and they're struggling even more with it. Mm-hmm. And we helped them, and Mark's been a great part of the team there.
You know what I can't believe? How much I've come along since May.
Oh yeah.
I was able to like just.
And it's the same thing for your speaking. Like, you'll come a long way. You just got to practice.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody loved day
Same
one.
thing for podcasting. Eventually, I'll be good at this.
Exactly. Day one, everybody loved, but it's not even, they don't even know what's happened. Day two is
Do you remember last time we
ridiculous.
were here doing this podcast on lunch?
Okay.
As I was coming in, Nina handed me a whole bunch of crazy big sausages.
yeah, that's
And then we're sitting here, and
good
I
info.
asked you a question, and I thought, oh, Evan's going to talk for a few minutes. So I shoved this big thing of meat in my mouth,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you didn't say anything.
right. That's the best.
I just had that memory. 'Cause now
we
here
were in the
this room
closet
again.
too. The
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's good.
It's the best.
And then day three, there's even more comfort zone breaking activities and exercises, and so it's doing. And so that's what starts bringing people really together and has a life-changing experience for them. So it'll be the feedback after. For me, it'll be the feedback after today. So over dinner tonight, and then tomorrow, seeing the growth in people and how much they loved it, the emotions, and then also seeing, does everybody want to come back and do it again? Because this is not just an Evan solo thing. Mark has a great role. Alex has an important role. The whole
Wow, I have a great role, and he's the
Wall.
only
Great wall. Great wall.
Did you ever know that I used to have a lisp and I couldn't say R's?
No. So you're
I said
Drager?
W's. I said W's.
Dwager?
Mock. Drager.
Wow.
I used to.
It's very Boston.
Mock.
Very Boston. You're
My
Boston.
sister's name's Cheryl. I used to say Cheryl.
You're from Boston.
Cheryl Drager.
We got 3 people from Boston here. You're
Dude,
now part of the club.
And they don't even sound Boston until they pull up the phone and they start talking, and suddenly it's just like Boston comes right out as they're talking.
Turns out, I love it. Anyway, so it depends if everybody wants to come back. Everybody has a really important role. Lily stepped out on this one. Mark stepped in on this one. It's been great. If everybody wants, if everybody wants to do it again, I'm feeling great. I don't know if it's just that. The first night I slept 0. The second night, last night I slept 7 hours. So maybe because I just slept, and we Alex did such a good job on the storytelling, getting their foundation story. People are coming to me like ready to go.
Yeah.
We finished. I finished with half an hour to go. And I'm sitting there talking to Danny. He's like, "So what do you do on set when there's nothing to do?"
You sit.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, we
Hurry
sit.
up and wait.
We sit." Like, really? This is a weird feeling. Like, having nothing to do is a super weird feeling. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I got to answer my DMs and do emails and work and stuff. But I'm feeling pretty. This is easy.
That means you got to up the game for next time.
I know.
It's too
but
easy for you.
Yeah. I don't know.
If it's too easy for you, then and we're getting too good, then we need to up the game.
I know.
Make it harder for you.
Every time we get up the game, and we'll see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow, I'm the whole day doing one-on-ones, so we'll see where that goes. Usually have some good moments there. So I don't know. It depends if everybody wants to come back.
So this morning session, I only worked with one group. They come to me and then they spend, they spend an hour and a half redoing over and over again the same 15-second message until
Yeah.
I think that they get it.
Yeah.
And then I say, great, do a second message. Great, do a third message. I was very impressed. I was very impressed with the baseline, which is the wording that I'm using for people. It's
Yeah.
like they immediately go to their version of performing or delivering something that they're most comfortable with. And some of these people's baselines are just like amazing.
Yeah.
So I always try to push in the opposite direction then. If they're super happy as a baseline, I go, great. So you can pull that out at any moment. Great. Now show me what the other version of you looks like. And if they're super calm, then I go, great. You can be super calm. Now show me what the other version of you looks like.
Right.
But their baselines are like really good.
So we either do May, which would be the usual, or it's once a year in September, or I don't do it again. I don't know.
I'm not that emotionally attached to this yet.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
It
though.
was
It's-
important to me when I went through it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to do this again.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, we can
But
take it or leave
but
it.
because we're just hitting our stride, because the good stuff is about to come. Like the good stuff of tonight, and then especially tomorrow, all the stuff that happens in the conversations, that's when a lot of the...
I think I would rather do what Alex is doing all day long than what I'm doing next time.
Well, maybe you guys role swap. I don't know.
There you go. On Monday, I had a conversation with him, and I was like, hey, should we just go ahead and switch roles without telling Evan?
Okay.
Because he said he was much more comfortable doing what I'm doing, and I would be much more comfortable doing what he is doing.
Okay.
And then Alex was like, no, that's okay. We're up for the challenge.
Okay. Well,
There you go.
So that'll be part of it.
So here's something that came up that I have a question for you. It came up yesterday because when we were working through this, so Evan has this magic formula that really helps people get started on being a thought leader, speaking on camera.
Right.
So it starts with, you have to have a powerful opinion. You have to say something that is going to kind of slap people in the face, punch people in the gut, catch their attention. It's got to be something that is an opinion. And an opinion by nature is a little controversial. It's black and white. It's up or down. It can't be both. Then you add some more context as a second line. Then you raise the stakes. You make it something that is dire, something that has to be addressed. And then if you have time, you can go into a story or a resolution or points or all these other things. So we're working with the people, and we're saying, have a powerful opinion, provide some context, raise the stakes. And what I found is when most people start, they try to combine everything that they want to say into one video, and they don't think about the fact that if you're doing this every day, 90 days later you've done 90 videos, there's going to be some overlap here. Like, you don't need your first video to touch every single possible point. Like, save some for future content. And so I also kind of said, keep in mind, eventually you're going to repeat yourself, and that's okay. And then I went, I don't know how many times Evan repeats himself over and over and over again, and you seem perfectly happy to do so. And that's the question I have for you. How the hell do you say the same things over and over and over and over again? And I know you tweak things and get better and this and that. How does that not drive you completely bananas? How many times can you answer the question, hey, Evan, can you be in my podcast? How many times can you answer the question like, hey, Evan, what's up? And you go, I don't do small talk. I'm great, thank you. Why didn't you use this opportunity to ask a real question? Like, I hear it so much times that I have your answers memorized for you. I actually have with Steve, I have to get him to make sure that I don't use your wording. I hear your stuff so much that sometimes I say it thinking it's mine.
Wow.
And it's like, oh wait, no, that's an Evan thing.
That's some good words.
So that's the question. When you're a thought leader, like, I'm sure Gary Vee gets tired of saying the same things over and over and over.
No, I don't get tired of it.
Because you're swimming forever.
I like sure, yes, slightly different analogy there, but
Christina must get tired of editing the same thing over and over and over again,
maybe,
right? Christina,
maybe.
Go ahead, give us a little graphic on the screen.
Thumbs
Write
up.
something that says how you feel so the audience knows.
What percent
Ooh, flash
out of
up
100
a percentage of how tired you are.
100 is, I never want to hear him say this thing again, and 0 is, no, I love every word.
I'm going to come back to this time code 12 minutes in.
Let's see where we're at. Yeah. For me, it's always a different person.
But it's the same question and the same answer.
But it's a different person. Like, I like the process of teaching more than I like having to come up with a new idea every time. Like, I like part of what I like working with you is it's when I get frustrated at some of your points. I did this with Jeremy too when we were driving. He's saying stuff that gets me frustrated, and then it leads to some new revelation, which then I can share, right? So Jeremy, I went off about vision boards, and I ended up saying, what did I say? Your calendar is your vision board. Like, that's a genius thing, right? I got so upset at him. Your calendar, because the vision board is just results. It's all these results that you want. But it's not the results that actually matter. It's the process. It's your habits. It's your daily. What is that? That's your calendar. Your calendar is your vision board, right? It's like this is great.
I like it.
So the different, most people have, most of the problems, I want to help. Like, most people are struggling with these same questions, and they haven't seen my content.
You know what? Now that you're saying that, I realize that I repeat myself all the time, and I'm perfectly happy to do so as well.
Okay.
Because when you're in sales, there's only so many challenges people can bring you. And I have the same questions I ask every time, and I explain things the same way every time, and I'm perfectly happy to do so because it's helping them out, and I see the revelation on their face.
Yeah.
And I find it fun.
Yeah, it's
so maybe I already had the answer.
You have to want to help. But
there's something new.
But some people. But here's the thing. There was a guy who called into my Instagram live show when I was in New York, and he said, "Hey, Evan, I don't really want to say this, but I'm tired of saying the same answers, and I feel like my audience is a little too stupid for my content." And so I don't know. I mean, I want to help them. I want to see them grow to where they can afford me. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't want to help them.
Right, you don't like them.
Yeah, like if you're already calling them stupid, he's just doing it basically out of guilt because they want to be seen as a bad person. Like, you want to be a Ferrari. You're Ferrari. You don't need to build 1 million followers. You need to have.
You have to have 1,000 people
who love it,
who are willing to pay you $1,000.
Yeah, who pay or more, right?
Yep.
Right. That's who you want, and that's the type of content that you want to create. I like helping beginners. I love it. As long as you're willing to learn, I think it's maybe even it's such a strength it becomes a weakness. That as long as you're willing to learn, I'll stay with you. when I probably should have like abandoned you, right? Like, right?
La, la, la.
Right? So
Now things are getting a little too sensitive for Mark. He's feeling very roll right now.
right? We're just talking in generalities.
Oh,
here.
good.
Yeah, exactly. I just love it. I love the process too much. So a guy like that should not be doing. He'll get tired of answering the same beginner level questions. I don't mind it. I see the struggle. I want to see people win. The thing that bothers me is if they're not doing anything or not even so much bad intent, but just
they don't take action with it.
They're not moving.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I know that bothers Gary because he talks about it in his content. Like, he worries that people watching his stuff give them enough emotional feeling to make it feel like they're doing something, and then they never actually do anything. And so,
I think, yeah. I mean, I think, yes, it's a point. I think though, the alternative. Like, look at where these people are coming from. What are they coming from?
Mm-hmm.
They're coming from a place where they are lost and don't feel like they're doing anything at all. And so it might be, it's better than when they were. And I think if you keep consuming it, I think it'll drive you to do something.
So if you want to be a thought leader, right, we're here talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
You're on IG, you want to go onto YouTube, even if you're getting up and giving speeches or what have you.
Yeah.
There's the natural repetition that's going to happen. How do you know when you should change things up and when you should just stay to the tried and true things because they work? Is it just about boredom? Is it about lack of engagement or analytics or
audience? Depends on the audience. What does your audience need to hear? So if I'm speaking to if I'm on stage speaking to a group, I want to know who the group is, and assume most people haven't heard all of my content, and so I'll go to my tried and true, and usually that's what I'm going to be talking about.
I hate it when there's a miss. I love the podcast 99% Invisible. You may have heard of it, you may not have. Roman Mars. Love it, listened to it from the beginning, listened to every episode. Then he's coming to Toronto, and I'm like, I got to get these tickets. And so it was a lottery. And so I put in my name right away. I got the tickets. I was super, super excited to be there. And you got to think, like, if you're going to come out to a live podcast thing, then you're going to be a fan, right? Like, you're not going to not know them. And then the dude does the same content we've already heard. He just repeats like his 3 favorite podcasts. And I was so pissed. I was like, why did I come out to listen to something I could listen to if you're not going to give me new content or help me out? I was really angry. Roman Mars. Calling you out, man.
But that's it. No one, like, he didn't know his audience.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I actually hate. I'm trying to move all of my presentations to Q&A. I'm a little pissed that I'm about to go to. I'm speaking at Dean Graziosi, Brendan Burchard, Eric Thomas's event in Phoenix, and they want me to do a presentation. And my last 2 keynotes have just been Q&A, where the organizer.
But you know what the answer is, right?
What?
The answer is to spend 10 to 15 minutes on the circle of belief.
Sure,
and then immediately move into Q&A.
Yeah, but they don't want it. Like, I also have to respect who's bringing me and what they want. So I have to figure out how much Q&A, if they want 40 minutes or if they want just like straight, just me talking for 60 minutes. If it was my own event, for sure. And I push it. Like, I pushed the guy in, we did Dallas first. And I said, I think this will really work. He said yes. Then the Florida one's like, no, you're the closing keynote. We want to have it as a talk. I said, listen, this will really work if you let me do it like this. And we did it. It was awesome. And then I pushed it on these guys too, and like, no, we don't want to do it. So I push hard, but then it's their show, right?
Yeah, they're the client,
right? So there's 3,000 people showing up.
So you're gonna say the same thing you always say?
No, this is talking about YouTube. So I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I mean, some of the content I talk about here.
You're presenting on Sunday, and you haven't started prepping yet.
This is my prep. I'm prepping.
Oh.
What am I doing? I'm talking about YouTube. I'm talking about thought leadership, right?
It just sounds like such an Evanism.
What do you mean?
Your calendar is your, what did you say? Is your thing board. This is my prep. It's the entire game.
What are we?
Like, those are classic Evanisms.
but
it's the whole thing. It's the whole game.
Mark's getting very excited.
Yeah,
I think that's what Alex wanted in your presentation yesterday.
He wanted it more. He wanted more.
So, yeah, I'll be ready. I'll be fine. We'll crush it. I want to do. I'm gonna bucket a little bit in that. I'm gonna make it more experiential. Like I'm gonna get somebody who wanted to have a YouTube channel for 5 years and hasn't done it. I'm gonna bring them on stage and we're gonna do something.
Classic
right?
Evan.
Instead of doing like,
Evan.
yeah, it's gonna be great. Like I'm gonna say, hey, who's wanted to have a YouTube channel for more than a year, more than 2, more than 3? Who's the longest? 5. Come on up, right? Bring them on and say we're gonna make a video today, and it's gonna be amazing, right? The experience is the best part. And if I get 20 minutes Q&A, awesome. And if I get 0, we'll crush and make it a great experience.
Is Nina going down with you?
No, Nina's not coming to this one.
No?
But I'm the morning keynote, which I love. It's less prestigious, but I love being a morning keynote.
Yeah, it's better. It's better than afternoon when everyone's sleepy and.
Oh, I don't care about that. No. I want to be. Because after you do your presentation, people then talk to you all day.
All day to get a fever and to not eat or go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Sacrifice your body and your mental health
best.
for people.
No, not mental health. My mental health is on point. This is healing from mental health, but my physical health is not on point. I want to help. I'm going there to this is valuable time. I don't want to just show up, do an hour speech, and go home.
Listen, as the leader of a cult, the cult of Evan, I don't know how you could say your mental health is great. You are insane. You're crazy.
No, I'm amazing. I want to gift more people this.
Cheeky.
This is the best. Everybody needs this. Yeah.
Are you flying? You're gonna fly down?
Yeah.
Chartered?
No.
No. Oh.
But it cost me $1,600 to get the ticket.
$1,600 to get the first class, you mean, or the business class or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't actually seem like that much.
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like I've looked into business classes to Dallas and stuff. It was like $2 or $3 a ticket.
Could be. Depends on how early you book it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And chartering a plane's more than $1,600, I guess.
I've never done that. I haven't gone that route.
That you have to taste it.
Maybe.
That's what's next for you.
Yeah, could be.
You have to taste it, and when you do, you have to invite your good friend Mark to come with you.
I just don't want to be on tiny planes. You know, like I hate the turbulence.
So get a big plane.
Charter a 747. Wow, now we're talking. Okay,
$60,000.
You want to split it with me? Half an
No.
hour?
Once you taste it and do it, you need to invite your good friend Mark.
Wow.
Along for the ride.
I think I could probably invest $60,000 into something a little more beneficial.
You think so?
Maybe not. I don't know.
I think so.
I feel like I could. Yeah. Doesn't feel like that's
somehow
the
we were
next
talking
challenge
about.
for me.
Oh. So do you remember your story coming back from Dallas about the guy getting sick?
Yeah, the guy who vomited?
Yeah.
That was nasty.
So possibly, I think...
I don't remember the story, but I remember experiencing it.
I think the best podcast moment we've ever had. Just you sharing this story is so much fun. So,
oh, really?
So Jack was talking about getting sick on a plane the other day. And I was like, you got to hear this Evan story. You got to hear this Evan story. But I didn't... but I can't do it justice. So I played for her the other night, that part of the podcast.
So gross. I'm just visualizing. I don't even know what I said, but I'm visualizing it again.
You described it really well. So anyway, so my kids...
All over the guy's suit, right? The guy had a suit.
Call back. So my kids...
Oh, my God.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the episode after Tony Robbins. So that would be, I think it came out end of July.
So nasty.
Anyway, I'm playing it for my kids. They're laughing. I'm playing it for Jacqueline. She's like, oh my goodness, this is insane. I don't remember where I was going with this. This is the greatest moment ever.
On our podcast? Okay.
On our podcast. Talking about the callback, about you getting sick. Oh, and then you were talking about first class, and Jacqueline's like, oh, la-di-da, first class. We've never flown first class. I was like, oh, I have with Evan. And she's like, oh, right.
Mark's fancy now.
Super jealous.
So fancy, this guy,
super
Mark.
Please.
So fancy. Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
Then?
That was it. I was just saying that
your wife
Jacqueline,
gave you shade?
Yeah. She's like, she felt left out.
Wow.
She had a little bit of FOMO.
She kind of was left out. I mean, you didn't bring her.
You brought me, so you didn't bring her.
Right.
And then for Dallas, she didn't want to come. So,
right.
But yeah. Anyway, so
Did
first class.
You flew business class on?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we flew air miles. We flew non-direct.
I think it
very last. No, air miles puts you in the very last seat on the plane, like beside the bathrooms.
I don't know. I don't book
Small.
my flights.
It was not a great flight, but yeah. Anyway, where are we going with this?
I don't know.
Yeah, repeating yourself over and over again, saying the same things over and over again. You do it because you love the people and you know it'll help them.
Yeah, it's like Alex teaching level 1 salsa again and again and again.
Dude, that was the other example I gave yesterday talking to them out there when I said you repeat yourself all the time. I said, can you imagine? Like, I know Alex thinks that the jokes he makes look like he's never said them before, but you can tell he says these jokes over and over and over and over again, and he says these lines over again, and because I've heard him teach this same class 4 times now, and it impresses me that he can do it
But
and not just go crazy.
So listen, I think we repeat, or at least I repeat myself way more than Alex does. I mean, he goes through every 9 weeks. He's got to have the same class, so he only has to say the same thing 4 times a year. But one of the things I've been challenging myself is for my espresso videos. I don't know if we talked about this in the podcast. I feel like we have, but maybe not.
How you prepare on a Friday before because it gets you better results?
No, I don't prepare on the Friday. But
in your calendar, you used to have 2 hours to prepare for espressos Friday
really?
afternoon.
Okay.
I remember that.
Change that. But anyway, I want to challenge myself to come up with new stories around the same topic. Like I force myself to think, not all the time it works, but I think what's happened this week
Yes.
that I can share, because the messages are almost always the same. Go through the last 6 months of espressos. You're not going to find a ton of new ideas, but it doesn't mean people aren't like they're not doing it. They need it. They need it daily. So I could tell the same stories over and over again. That's easy. I challenge myself to try to figure out a new story. So what can I share on my next filming from this Thought Leadership Academy, right? Or just mundane things that have happened, but can still tie into the story. I like having that challenge. So I've recently, past 3 or 4 months, forced myself, maybe even less, force myself into that.
And it's working?
It's enjoyable. Like, it's more fun.
Keeps it fresh.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. Because for me to tell the same story, I can tell it a little bit better maybe every now and then. But I like the challenge of having to come up with something new.
Yeah. How many times can you tell the story about being in Paris at the Notre Dame with the girl asking you for directions and then you regretting not asking her out and then you taking a picture of it and hanging it up on your wall?
But listen, you know that as OG and maybe frustrated by it. But
oh, no, I'm actually not. I like hearing the story.
But most people watching this haven't even heard that story now. I haven't told that in a long time.
Okay.
Like it might have been a year since I've told that story.
So here's the thing. I actually don't mind hearing you say this stuff over and over again. It doesn't bother me. And I say the same stuff over and over again to people and it doesn't bother me. Just the thought of saying it over and over again bothers me.
It just depends on the audience. Yeah, if it's the same audience, then yes.
My father-in-law, that dude says the same stories over and over again. And but the thing that gets me is he'll start telling it as if he's never told it before.
Right.
And we're like, man, I've known you for like almost 20 years now.
We've heard
Trust me, I've heard this story before. I know about this, whatever. So, but that's just now.
This is why I love Q&A. This is why, because it's always fresh. It's always going to be custom to the people in the group. So that if you're like your podcast guy, what's his name? You're throwing huge shade at.
My podcast guy? Oh, Roman Mars?
Yeah. He should have started with like, hey, who's listened to more than 10 episodes of my podcast? And then everybody puts up their hands like, oh, this is good. This is a hardcore crowd. Let's go deeper.
Yes.
Yeah. That one question could have changed the whole experience.
Yeah, because if you're a true fan of him, like that dude is obsessed with flag and flag design, and I know, I would love to hear his thinking on how he got into that, as opposed to him just repeating the same story.
It should have been all Q&A. It should have been all Q&A.
I would have loved that.
It should have been all Q&A, and then Mark asked his flag question, and somebody else asked a mosquito question. Somebody else asked, about gonorrhea. Awesome.
This is an architectural and design podcast, so
maybe
we're not getting into mosquito. Although they could have done one on mosquito nets and how many lives it saved when they built the Panama Canal. Do you know the number one cause of death was malaria?
Listen, that idea came to me for a reason. So he has a connection to gonorrhea for something. You should ask him when it comes.
But yes.
Yeah. So, but that's it. Like, if he made a Q&A, it would have been a better experience for everybody.
Okay.
Yep. Great. That's the show, guys. We're at time. I got to get back. We got to help people.
Yes.
It's got to change some lives.
I like the sound of that.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. We got to do our opening.
Oh, yes.
Are we really going to end it with that? Hold on first. Is there nothing better we can say than gonorrhea to end with?
I think it's great. I think the last word of the whole podcast should be gonorrhea. I don't even know what it is. What is gonorrhea?
Sexually transmitted disease.
Maybe this, what's his name again?
Roman Mars.
Yeah. There's a connection there. I feel it. Somehow.
I don't want to get a slander suit, so that's Evan Carmichael Communications.
Inspired by Mark Drager.
Thanks. Let's end it then with the word
gonorrhea.
If you want to see the last episode of my podcast with Mark, it's fire. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
We talk about the best way to interview people so you can be an amazing interview, and then somehow we talked about that. Yeah. And then somehow we decide that I have to leave the podcast right now to go buy a suit at H&M.